Welcome to another episode of Line of Defense podcast, where we have thought-provoking conversations that may need your line of defense. Today, we're going to talk about building trust in a dangerous world. As you can see today, we have a lot of chaos. We have a lot of assassinations. We have a lot of illegal aliens that's participating in violent acts towards federal employees and for the federal guards, for the lack of better wording. But what I would say is, I think today we need a lot of trust. I think we need a trust in not only our government, but also within each other. So I want to talk to you guys a little bit about having trust, understanding what it means to be able to trust your neighbor, some tactics that you can use to trust your neighbor, some tactics that you can use to actually help yourself in a distressed situation. So follow me as we go into this topic of building trust in a dangerous world. All right, so before we go any further, let's talk about trust. What is trust? Trust is the ability to rely on someone or something to benefit you in a safely manner. What I mean by that is you feel secure, you feel safe, whether that's a platform or a firearm, or whether that's someone that's in your neighborhood. You have to be able to trust that person with your life sometimes, and trust somebody with your well-being. I want to talk a little bit about a hot topic, a situation that's been going on, circling around the air, that just recently happened with the assassination of Charlie Kirk. Now, I didn't know Charlie Kirk personally, so I'm not giving you no personal expertise. I didn't know anyone that was on his detail personally. However, from the video and the footage that we have, I would like to give my expertise in regards to being able to protect some hot net worth individuals, is what I do on a day-to-day basis. So we're going to give you a quick video in regards to the assassination of Charlie Kirk. We will bleep out, obviously, some of the violent parts of the video, the graphic parts of the video. So be cautious as you watch this video.
Counting or not counting gang violence? Great.
Oh my God.
Wait, Cody, go, run. Oh. Over the last 10 years. Counting or not counting gang violence? Great.
Oh my gosh, he was just shot. He was just shot. You just hear the gunshot and I'm sorry. You just see his neck just like open up and there's just like so much blood that just came out. It was horrible.
Fine, they can't tell you what a woman is when you ask her what a woman is.
To my great fellow Americans, I am filled with grief and anger at the heinous assassination of Charlie Kirk on a college campus in Utah. Charlie inspired millions, and tonight, all who knew him and loved him are united in shock and horror.
If we're still on our shot here, we just are seeing SWAT team.
All right, after seeing that video, horrendous video, first and foremost, prayers and thoughts to the Charlie Kirk family and all that was impacted by this. And as I said before, I wasn't actually a part of this detail or know anyone a part of this detail. So this is just blatantly my opinion based off serving high net worth individuals and people who have been in these type of situations, or not necessarily being assassinated, but been in these type of situations as far as venues and things of that nature. And when it comes to this venue, I'm not a fan of open venues because at the end of the day, it leaves a high security risk in regards to violent threats. There's so many levels and areas that you can actually position yourself to if you're one of these people who looks to assassinate people. There's so many ways to actually get access to the target. So for me, I've always informed my clients that they should do venues that have inside events that are partaking inside of a facility versus being outside where there's more of a high-risk opportunity for someone who's trying to actually get in touch with the principal, is what we call it in the security world, but the actual target. What I would say in some of the ways that I believe that could have prevented Charlie Kirk from actually being assassinated. Now, nothing is guaranteed. There's no guaranteed protection that you could do, but I do think there was some slippage in regards to some of the detail work that could have been done. as before any of my clients go out, I always do an advance. And what advance is, you sweep the area that they're going to be located, and then you look for opportunities. So there could be a numerous spots and positions that people can take in regards to getting the opportunity to actually hit the target. But you should do a sweep. That means what a sweep is, you should look for any devices, any bags that's just been left out, any type of equipment that doesn't belong on the stage or don't belong with the actual speaker. Anything that may come into question. If you have a question, ask the question. I always tell people that you don't have to be into this world to actually see stuff and help prevent crime from actually happening. So I would advise them to do a sweep, which I'm sure they did. I just think that in regards to where the shot was actually taken and where some of the blind spots in regards to that particular venue that was actually visible to the security detail, I think that they could have went and had some type of counter surveillance in regards to all the platforms that were high up. So the stadium had a high up open bridge, the building had a higher open bridge. And so I think that there was an opportunity for not necessarily have drones like some guys in my field have suggested, but just have a security guard, an in-house security guard that works for the school to just roam around. I've used that in-house security. I always tell people to make friends with them. I always tell people to actually engage with them because they're your second line of defense. They're your first line of defense, actually, because you're going to be with the principal and you're not going to be able to see a lot of the things that they're going to see. So I always tell people to make contact and make friends with in-house security. Therefore, you have another line of defense. When it comes down to this situation, I really believe that if there was someone roaming, if they would have took the necessary precautions in regards to securing him in a way that was above and beyond, I think that it could have prevented the guy from taking a shot and it being a fatal shot. I don't necessarily think that there was nothing that was going to stop this kid from actually shooting the shot, but I do think that there was going to be an opportunity to prevent the shot from actually hitting Charlie Kirk, or a shot that's going to actually land elsewhere and, God forbid, hit somebody else. So I think they could have did a better job in regards to preventing that shot by putting things in place. I think they should have took all the death threats and things that are now coming out against Charlie. They should have took that a little bit more serious and not just think that presence of police and security was going to be enough. And so that's all I have on regards to the Charlie Kirk situation. Like, again, I say prayers up to him and his family and all the ones that were affected by it. It really was a true assassination, and it was a situation that has changed and impacted the world. But I do think that there's an opportunity for us to learn from this situation and to be able to set up a different and a better line of defense. All right, next up we have the National Guard going to different cities to help assist with local law enforcement in regards to reducing crime and different things that are impacting the local civilians that are there, the local citizens that are there. As we talk about trust, I think that it's important that we understand there's a lot of people here that doesn't belong in the United States, that didn't come here legally. And I think that the administration and the government efforts to be able to remove these people, especially the violent ones, I think it's important that we learn to trust leadership. Leadership will not always be right. Leadership will not always have the perfect plan. However, I've seen in my line of work that the more you trust your leader, the better the result can be. Now, there will always be a debrief where we could have did things better. Nothing is going to be perfect. However, I believe that once you in the battle and once you go to the battlefield, you will understand that trusting your leader, trusting your leader that put in the work to put together a plan in regards to what you guys can do to execute, to help the civilians or to help the citizens, or in my case, to help a principal. If you trust them, you will still end up in a good and better result than if you decide to not trust them and to take action. So with the National Guard being deployed across the country to help local authorities reduce crime and create a safer environment, I think that this has become a little bit more political than it needs to be. I think there's been obvious issues with a lot of deaths in America. And because we've experienced this at a high rate, we've become desensitized into what death actually is. Death is the loss of a life. That means that human and that individual would never become anything that they desire to be. Their dreams are shattered. Someone lost a child, someone lost a mother, someone lost a father, someone lost an aunt, an uncle, a cousin. Someone from a family of however many has now been reduced due to ignorance, due to the lack of intelligence, due to the lack of understanding what type of power they have when they have a firearm, when they have different tools and different weapons to use to take a life away. I think this is a serious situation because this can cause a bigger issue if we don't learn to trust the government in regards to protection and safety. We use our taxpayer dollars to actually pay these individuals, and this gives us an opportunity to trust their expertise and trust their education in regards to how to assess these situations. If I'm being honest, a lot of guys or a lot of women are not actually prepared for war, not prepared to defend themselves, not prepared to defend their property, or not prepared to defend their assets. So therefore, I think that law and order is necessary. I think law enforcement is necessary. And with the National Guard being deployed across the countries, I think that it will grow to be a better outcome if we was to trust what they're doing and trust the plan. And then in the end, if we don't agree with them, let that be an opportunity for us to have a discussion and conversations and to get down to the city council meetings and different platforms that we use in regards to social media and emails and different things to actually communicate with your, local mayor, your governor, your state rep. Like, these are opportunities for us to have those conversations to create the change. But as of now, I think that we need to trust the administration, the leadership of the government, FBI, DOJ, and they have fallen short. I'm with you in some of those cases as well. However, I think that we need to actually trust them in this situation to be able to succeed in the goal that we all want, which is peace, liberty, and freedom. All right, I say that to say trust creates peace, and peace of mind is what we all desire. So peace goes beyond just quiet time, but peace in knowing that I trust the system, I trust law enforcement, I trust our emergency medical system, I trust the whole process and create a better environment for me to thrive in with me and my family and all that I love. Thank you for tuning in to another Line of Defense podcast. Make sure you like and subscribe. We're on all podcasting platforms. This has been another episode of Line of Defense podcast, where we have thought-provoking conversations that may need your line of defense. Until next time, peace.